Hello, my name is Lauren. A few years ago, I uploaded this photo of myself holding a sign saying, "I don't need feminism because I believe in equality, not entitlements and supremacy." To my surprise, the photo was shared all over the internet, from BuzzFeed and even on Time magazine. I got a lot of support for the photo, but I also got a lot of hate and criticism. Most of that criticism from feminists who claimed I did not know what the word feminism means because feminism is actually a movement for equality. So today I wanted to speak to those feminists and explain why I'm still not a feminist and why third wave feminism is not in fact a movement for equality. I want to start by asking a question. If feminism is a movement for equality, why do we not see equal representation of both genders' issues? And why do we not see feminists complaining about benefits that women have over men in certain situations? I bet very few people watching this video right now know that around 100,000 to 140,000 males are raped annually in US prisons. This is more males raped than females in the US annually, yet feminists remain silent on the issue. Almost half the domestic abuse victims in the US and Canada are men, yet there are no safe houses for them, no court advocacy programs, no subsidized counseling or legal care like women. Despite being half the victims, they are basically ignored. Men make up 80% of suicide victims, 92% of workplace deaths, 97% of combat deaths, and 77% of homicide victims. Men are objectified, men are raped, men are mistreated. Men are held to ridiculously high societal standards, just like women. Yet feminists continue to place this blanket judgment over all men that they are all privileged, and all women that they are all oppressed. Yet, as a woman, I will almost always win custody of children in a divorce case. I will receive less than half the sentence a man does for the exact same crime, and actually have my rape and assault accusations taken seriously, and I won't be laughed at for not being manly enough. With one quick Google search, I can find a safe house in my area if I have been in an abusive relationship. As a woman, I am more likely to get a government or military job, despite qualifications, just to fill a quota due to affirmative action. And I am also more likely to get into a university because of my gender. So if feminism really were a movement for equality, you would see feminists rioting about the 140,000 men raped. You would see them questioning the fact that women get less than half the prison sentence a man does for the exact same crime. Yet, we do not see equal representation of men's and women's issues. Despite popular belief, feminism is not, in fact, a synonym for equality. I'm not trying to say that men have more issues than women. My point is that both genders have issues, and to argue that feminism is a movement for equality and doesn't just represent one gender's issues is quite frankly ridiculous. So this is why I'm not a feminist. I'm not a feminist because I believe that both genders should be treated equally and both their issues should be addressed. I'm not a feminist because I believe I should prove that I'm worthy of a job rather than having it given to me to fill a quota. I'm not a feminist because feminists are unintentionally creating a world of reverse sexism that I don't want to be a part of. So I will stick to promoting equality and justice, rather than a faux form of equality under the label of a gender-biased word, feminism.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And I want to talk to you about something kind of controversial today. I may hurt some feelings here, but I think it's okay if I do, because this is an important topic. Now, pretty frequently, one of the criticisms I seem to hear the most often is that I think it's okay to be fat. And that I think, I'm encouraging other people to be fat or stay fat. And that's actually not true. That's completely different from the message I'm actually trying to deliver. So right off the bat, let me just go ahead and say that it's not okay to be fat. That's not okay, all right? And if I hurt your feelings with that, I beg you to stick with me. Now, let me explain that to the best of my ability. It's okay to be a few pounds overweight. If you can be a few pounds over your ideal weight, once you get to be about 50 pounds over your ideal weight, you probably want to look into fixing the problem. And once you reach 100 pounds overweight, you've reached what they call morbid obesity. And it's called morbid obesity because it's damaging your body. It's causing you to shorten your lifespan. Everything you do is going to be more difficult, whether it's recovering from a surgery, recovering from a smaller disease, whether it's diabetes or a heart disease or lung disease, dying of a stroke, dying of a heart attack, shortening your lifespan by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%. This is bad, and it's not okay to do that. All right? Now, the flip side of that is that it's also not okay for anyone to be critical of you for being fat. It's not okay for someone to be critical of you for doing pretty much anything you want to do, as long as you're not harming other people. And it doesn't matter if you're short or tall, skinny or small. It doesn't matter if you're gay or straight. It doesn't matter if you're black or white or blue. I don't really care. I don't care if you're male or female, you're transgender, you're somewhere in between, you're asexual, you're prosexual, you hate sex, you like sex. It doesn't really matter. No one has the right to treat you like an asshole. So when I say that it's okay to be fat, which I've said in the past, I say it's okay because it's just another way that people come. And no one has the right to tell you that you're different and the way that you're different is bad. We're all different. You're different. I'm different. They're different. We're different. Basically, no one has the right to treat you like an asshole because of the shape of your body or the things that you are that are difficult or you can't simply control. And one of the things that a lot of people say you can control to lose the weight, and yes, it's easier for other people. Some people have this, some people have that. But the reality of it is, if you can control it, you really should. That's true. I'm never going to argue with that. The truth of the matter is being overweight is unhealthy, and it will be better for you to lose weight. And the only time I'll ever say it's okay to be heavy is if you like being heavy. If you want to be heavy, go for it. Be heavy. Like if you want to be the fattest man in the world, fat up, man. Like fucking hit those buffets. That's what you want out of your life. Do it. But if you want to be healthy, if you want to live a high quality life, you want to live longer, you got to watch your weight. And I've never tried to deliver any other message than that. And if you're watching this right now, let me go ahead and tell you, if I'd started to lose the weight 10, 15, 20 years ago, I'd be having a hell of a lot easier time than I'm having now. And right now, I'm getting shots in my ass every 2 weeks for testosterone. I'm dealing with arthritis. I'm dealing with my inability to walk. I'm dealing with being housebound almost. I'm dealing with having a lot of fucking issues. Don't get to my point. Because you will get to my point if you're a few hundred pounds overweight and you don't fix it. So fix it today. Fix it today. It's not okay to be fat.
This week we heard over and over again from the White House, from members of Congress, from journalists, that women earn 23 cents less than men for doing the same work.
On average, a woman still earns just 77 cents for every dollar a man does.
And today Congress argued over a bill called the Paycheck Fairness Act. And that bill is premised on this 23-cent wage gap injustice. Well, let's do a little reality check. First of all, no competent labor economist takes the 23-cent wage gap injustice claim seriously. There was an analysis of more than 50 peer-reviewed papers commissioned by the Department of Labor. What they found is that the so-called wage gap is mostly, perhaps entirely, an artifact of the different choices men and women make, different fields of study, different professions, different balances between home and work. Now, wage gap activists will argue that even when you control for relevant variables, women still earn less. Well, it always turns out they omit one or two crucial variables. So why play this game? Now, a colleague of mine, the economist Mark Perry, has been blogging for several months about the gender pay gap at the White House. It turns out that the median pay for female staffers is 88% of that of male staffers. Now, White House spokesman Jay Carney created a firestorm of protest among reporters because he was tap dancing around this embarrassing fact.
Well, I would say a couple of things about this. We know that closing the gender wage gap is a key part of our economic agenda, women's agenda, and here at the White House, equal pay legislation deems that there should be equal pay for equal work, and that's what we have.
He insisted on the one hand, oh no, women earn equal pay for equal work in the Obama administration. And he sort of dismissed the 88-cent figure as being, well, just an aggregate of everyone on the staff from junior to senior levels. Well, what he essentially was saying is that the 88-cent gap is no proof of White House discrimination, since it leaves out so many variables. Well, fine, that's right. But why then does the president use the 77-cent figure, which is misleading in exactly the same way? Now, reporters also pressed Betsy Stevenson, who's a member of the White House Council of Economic Advisors. They pressed her about the bogus factoid. To her credit, she quickly acknowledged that there were a lot of things that go into the 70-cent figure, and many things contribute to it, and that no one was saying, she said, that it was about discrimination. Well, yes, they are. And activists, politicians, they have been saying it for years. Now, it is not my claim that women no longer face discrimination in the United States. There is no evidence that I can see, or most responsible economists can see, of systemic wage discrimination against women. But of course, there are still workplaces where women are being shortchanged. But here's the bottom line. Women who are struggling economically or coping with gender bias, they're going to be best served by truth, careful research, not hype, spin, factoids, advocacy data. Will all be better served by truth. So the White House, members of Congress, journalists, and everyone else should stop using the specious wage gap statistic. Just let it go.
So what happens when you say alleged rape and rape actually does happen? What are we doing when we treat women like that? I don't understand.
You can't put someone in prison if you haven't proven them guilty of something.
So then how do we prove everyone guilty of stuff? There are convictions, there are charges. When you say alleged rape, you're not believing the victim of said rape. You know, we put alleged as a word.
So are you saying that we should just believe women right away when they say they've been raped?
We have to believe any rape